All right, hello and welcome to episode 49 of the Too Hard to Pass podcast. I'm your co-host, Juan Martinez. And to my left or to my right, he's back from his world tour, everybody. It's Jacques Slade.
There was no world tour, first of all.
He's back, everybody.
I was away on vacation with the family, so let's level set for everyone that's listening and everyone that's watching. I'm
Okay.
currently in New York in a hotel room.
Oh,
Um, I'm here with the PGA Tour doing some stuff with their Pathway to Progression, which is like their program for like junior golfers, not like the
yeah.
best of the best junior golfers, but the junior golfers that are trying to make it to that elite level to get
Yeah.
college scholarships and stuff like that. And so they
Oh,
have
that's
special
great.
programs for them, which is really cool. And so I'm
Mhm.
here this week. Here this week for that. So it's awesome. It's awesome. So if you're not following me, follow me over on my Instagram. I'll be posting a lot of stories about it, so you
Right.
guys can kind of get an idea, get to know some of the kids, and for some of these kids that are really trying really hard and that and this presents them an opportunity to really do something that not a lot of kids get the opportunity to do. So yeah,
Yeah, and that's the thing with golf is it's a tough sport to break into. There's not a
it
lot of
is.
you need a lot of help. You need a lot of access. You need a lot of, opportunities like this. And, for golfers who are not on that, even like amateur level, like there's levels to this. There's even at
Yep.
the amateur level, there's junior golf, and then you get up to like the amateurs and everything. And there's just a lot of hoops and ladders to like, go through. And it's cool that you're doing this kind of stuff to like, provide give these people some shine and like, allow them the opportunity to like, get their name out there and to
Yep.
be able to get like exemptions into like tournaments and all that stuff because it's tough. It's tough out there for golf. Like it seems like a fun, glamorous, like, chill sport, but yeah, there's a lot of grind that goes into it, man.
It's a lot, and a lot of these, and it's expensive too. This
Mm-hmm.
provides some opportunity for these kids but I was talking to some of the parents are here for some of these junior golfers, and he's like, if we have a tournament in California, he's like, that's like a $3,000-4,000 trip
Yeah.
for the kid to play in that one tournament.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, and it's like that all the time. So he's like, in-state tournaments, he's like, we're probably going to spend a couple $1,000s just for that in-state tournament. So it's an expensive thing. So what the tour is doing is pretty dope. It's providing some really great opportunities for these kids that wouldn't have these chances otherwise, and giving them exposure and like exposing them to like high level coaches, high level training techniques, getting them equipment that they need. It's a really cool program.
Yeah, no, that's good to hear, man. And I'm glad that you're, you know, giving back and, exposing these kids to, opportunities that they otherwise wouldn't be able to,
Yeah,
have access to. So now
yeah,
that
it's
I've
dope.
done all of that good stuff out of the way, let's talk about vacay, man. How was Monaco?
Monaco,
Um,
I have
yeah.
no idea how Monaco was because I wasn't there. Uh, I went on a Caribbean cruise
Mm.
with the family.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it was cool. We got to go to St. Thomas. We went to Puerto Rico. Went to the
Mm-hmm.
Dominican Republic. We went to Turks and
Mm-hmm.
Caicos. And we went to Orlando. And that was it. That was it. Just spent like a day at each place, kind of, the thing that you do for a tour. Nothing super. I mean, for a cruise, nothing super fancy about it. Got to go over some waterfalls and stuff like that, in different places, and ride horses, and just kind of get away. But
Oh.
nothing fancy. The regular same vacations that everybody took.
Oh, okay. The everyday, people, kind of like, the everyday rich people. I see, understand. In your
Everyday
private,
rich people.
yeah, in your private yacht and
Wow.
everything. Were you waving to the Bezos as you were passing by and everything? Just.
All right. All right. Let's get on with this podcast because now you're way out of pocket. Now you're way out of pocket.
You were asking for it. Hey, look, I got it for 2 weeks when I was out in Europe, so it's your turn.
Yes, you were trotting around Europe.
Oh,
I
how
was in
dare you? You were trotting
I,
around the Caribbean.
I was off the coast of Florida. That's not the same. That's not the same.
Oh, I feel like it's kind of the same, man. You were on the private yacht and everything. I don't think it's kind of the same. Like, I had to,
All all the places that I went were American territories. So
which
That's
is
not
probably
the
as far as
same.
we can go right now. The probably not
Mm,
the best idea to leave at the moment. Woof. Anyways, yeah, we're not going to talk
not.
about that. What we are going to talk about today is Jacques, I want to talk about these Yu-Gi-Oh! Air Maxes. I'll be honest, I don't really have a connection to Yu-Gi-Oh! Like I like my anime, I like my manga. I've had like, you know, definitely like, like the Dragon Balls and all that stuff and like more of like the more mainstream anime and mangas and all that. And I say Yu-Gi-Oh! Is probably that same thing, but it was kind of just out of my range.
Hmm.
And I guess, for all that time, there was one particular character, I guess his name is like Joey Wheeler, and he was wearing these Air Maxes. Well, Air Max adjacent looking sneakers. I mean,
Adjacent, yeah.
yes, because that's probably the best way you could say it back then. Is like, you can't put the swoosh on there, but pretty much
Yeah,
anybody who knows those are Air Maxes. And the one thing I
right.
appreciated is like when looking at these images, I was like, oh, they draw it really well. They draw it really detailed. And it's not just
Hmm.
like some hackneyed, like, just like, put a couple sketches. It kind of looks like an Air Jordan or looks like an Air whatever. Now these are Air Maxes. It's basically Air
Yeah.
Maxes just without the swoosh.
Yep.
And Yu-Gi-Oh's been around since like what is it, like late 90s, early 2000s. I never really heard a peep from anybody. Like Yu-Gi-Oh just did what they did, Nike just kind of did what they did, never the just passing ships passing in the night, never really intertwining or
Yeah.
anything like that.
Yep.
But now they seem to be, and they are going to drop a collab sometime soon. I guess it was first teased during Comic-Con a couple of weeks ago, and it's got a lot of people excited. A lot of people my age who was watching Yu-Gi-Oh, and a lot of like the generation below us, very pumped for this in a way that I haven't seen in a while, just because it seemed like it was unexpected. And I
Yes.
just wanted to talk about like it's funny to me that that Nike's really embracing this, even with dot swoosh, like how they are embracing nerd culture in a way that they
Mhm.
really haven't before. I mean, you've seen it with like, comic books and like, movies and all that stuff, but to go into video games and to go into anime and to mangas, that's like deep cuts. So I mean, deeper than it is before. Like I know anime has really come a long way since like the 90s and the 2000s. It's become more mainstream and everything. But to the sneaker world, it's still a little obscure, well, obscured in a sense. So
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
think it's really interesting that Nike is really embracing it now. Like they did it like all the way back in like 2015 with like Slam Dunk, the manga where
Hmm.
the Air Jordan collab. But that felt like a one off. At least when we were covering the sneakers back then, it felt like
Hmm.
just a, oh, I didn't even know they knew it existed. So it felt
Right.
like, but not really a lot since then. I mean, you see like other brands like Adidas working with Dragon Ball and all that. And you see other shows like Pokemon has like their occasional collabs every once in a while with like different companies. But Nike really has like, with Yu-Gi-Oh, it's just like, whoa, they're really trying to go for like that particular market. And I think that's pretty neat.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's a great move for Nike. I mean, Nike has been like kind of dabbling in this water for a little while. They've been, so it's not completely out of left field. I think what's happening is they're seeing the success of these fandoms really happen for all of these other brands with Puma and with Adidas. And
Yeah.
even kind of, I think some stuff with what Saucony, I think Saucony did something, or Crocs. I think Crocs always has some sort of fandom tie-in. And I think Nike sees it like, hey, there's an opportunity here. And the other thing that I think is the people that were into these things as kids are now, I think, in more of the power positions within these companies.
Right.
So it makes more sense to do these collabs because there's someone there that understands the story and the lineage and the history and the lore of these brands and
Hmm.
can really help tie those two worlds together. Like the sneaker world, it was a very like a lone wolf for a long time.
Right.
But as more and more people and the nature of sneakers diversifies, I think we start to see some of the other things that people were into. Yes, they were into sneakers, but they were also into anime. Yes, they were also into manga. They were also into motorsports, or they were also into whatever it is. And you see all those things being integrated into the world of sneakers because there is an audience for them. I think what we're really seeing is how broad the world of sneakerhead is,
Yeah.
and the image that people have of it is not really what the image is, that it's a lot broader than that.
Yeah, that's a great point. That you said there's like these people who are now coming into power and are, taking on these positions and are able to better tell these stories to like, the higher ups, like, hey, this is why this matters. And I guess
Hmm.
that kind of makes sense because when you look at the generation before us, when you saw like these collabs with like Wu-Tang and like, Rockefeller and all that stuff, that was from like the generation who grew up like loving a particular like hip hop. And that's
Yep.
why they were able to pitch it to their higher ups and be like, hey, this is why this makes sense for us to work with these particular, entities. So
Yeah, I think it's a great look. And you always heard about this niche down thing, and I think now people are starting to expand, and it's not about niching down. It's about seeing what else is out there, that connects to this world in a real and genuine way. And the more people in power that have nostalgia for these things, I think the more we'll see these things start to come together. Like maybe someday the Trekkie will get some Trekkie will get a power position, and then he can go back and say like, oh, on Voyager, the Tuvok was wearing a pair of Jordan 10s when he was running around with the ensigns, and they turn that into like that's they make that into a story. So you just never you just those little things like that they'll have to be able to pull pieces from to put stories together.
that's a great point. Like Star Trek is really like an unmined resource, huh? Now that I think about it, there's not a lot.
Yeah.
Has there actually been a sneaker collaboration with Star Trek? I mean, Star
I don't
Wars is all
think
over the place,
so.
but like,
Star Wars, yeah, but I don't think Star Trek. But because I mean,
yeah,
it wasn't a lot of, you didn't see people's feet a lot. One for they, and there are no like IP characters in Star Trek the way that Star Wars had, like Yoda and
I mean Picard.
R2D2 and stuff like that. So yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, but Picard is different. Like, yeah, he's not fun. You know what I mean?
You're
There's nothing
telling me
fun.
you're telling me like there would like if Patrick Stewart teamed up with like Puma or Adidas or Nike for like a campaign and something and he was like out here like rocking whatever some Star Trek based like sneakers like the internet wouldn't lose their minds over that like Sir Patrick Stewart, I'm sorry, but
I
like
think I
they
think
would
the
like
internet nerds,
a
yeah,
certain segment of the internet would be like breaking their brains, be like, oh my god, we're getting like Star Trek Nikes or Air Maxes or something.
I think the Star Trek nerds would go insane. Like people like me would be like, "Oh my goodness!" But I
Yeah.
don't, I don't know that the larger population has that pop culture attachment to Sir Patrick Stewart that they have to Yoda, or that they have to R2D2, or they have the C3PO. Like that same sort of pop culture relevance isn't isn't there at all for Star Trek. Like people know they probably know Jean-Luc Picard. They probably know Captain Kirk. They know Spock, and that's probably they may know the Enterprise. They're not. They're definitely not going to know Voyager. They're not going to know Deep Space Nine. They, outside of that, like what IP is there? And none of those are fun. None of
Oh,
those are like cool like Yoda was cool, or fun like Yoda was cool, or
I don't
C3PO are funny or anything like that.
Yeah, but I'm trying to like, I'm trying to give it like, the benefit of the doubt, right? Because I feel like there's a lot of potential there for someone like a brand to jump on board the Star Trek bandwagon. Like I don't know if there's like maybe a movie coming out sometime soon or like what the state of the franchise is at the moment, but I feel like if there's the right hot show that comes out on Paramount or like a movie drops or something, like they can tap into it and like, make whatever like an again like Air Max 95 seems like it's the relevant thing, but like an Air Max
Yeah.
95 based on like the Enterprise or something, I think that would be, and you have like the logo, the Star Trek logo there somewhere, I think that would
Yeah,
be,
no, I agree.
yeah.
I agree with you. I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing against it. I'm 100% for it. I think it would be sick, especially with the gradient on the 95. Like that would be the perfect shoe. But
Yeah.
don't see. I just don't see it happen. It'd have to be a tech shoe or an old school shoe. Like I could see them
Right.
doing like I could see Adidas doing a Samba with Patrick Stewart. Like I could
Right.
see like that being like the vibe there. Like his off whatever ship trainer was a Samba or something like along those lines.
Yeah.
or maybe like you said, a 95 would work. Like it can't be too technical and modern because that doesn't
Hmm.
feel like Jean-Luc Picard, but it
Sure,
also
sure.
can't be something as simple as an Air Max 1 because that doesn't seem like it really fits. Like just off the top of my brain. 95 works because of the gradient. It has that sort of techie feel. A Samba I think works. SL72 I think works. Like those old school like 70, 80s shoes from the 70s and 80s. I think those work. Even Puma could do something with him that I think would work on the Star Trek front.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't see him with an Air Force One. I don't see him with a Jordan One. I don't, like none of that. Not a Jordan 4, none of that. Like a Air Max 90, Air Max, maybe an Air Max 90, maybe a
Oh,
90.
ooh. And we got the logos there on like some of the badge where like you would see like the Air Max 90
Yeah,
on the badges
some
and
of that
stuff. Nice.
badging. Yeah, maybe a
Yeah.
90 could work. but but that's it. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I kept thinking of them, but yeah. So yeah, that's what I say. I don't know. I hope someday they mine the Star Trek canon for sneaker collabs because that would be super dope to me. I just don't. I don't want to get my hopes up.
So what you're saying is that me and you, we should pitch it to these brands, go to like, whoever owns the Star Trek IP at the moment and be like, hey, we know, well, people. I could be like, yeah, yeah, he knows people. Yeah. And you can
Ah,
pitch these brands and be like, yeah, we can make this happen. Like, collaboration. It'd be like Cousteau, Star Trek, Adidas or Nike
nah.
or Jordan or something like, we can make this happen, man. So what we go put this out on the socials. We go put this out there. Star Trek. Let's make this happen, guys. And Jacques Slade is gonna
Yeah,
be like the
it would
headliner
be.
there. He's gonna be
That'd be a
he's
cool
gonna be right
collab. I
next to
would be
Sir
all
Patrick
about
Stewart.
that,
Be like, yeah, hey guys, how we doing? Like, made it happen, made it happen.
bro. That'd be insane. I could see it happening. I could see it happening. I can see it
Uh,
happening on a 95. It's the year of the 95 too, so they're giving the 95 a lot of love. So yeah,
exactly, exactly. And the resale for that would be pretty interesting when you consider like the intersection of like Nike fans, Air Max fans, and Star Trek fans.
yeah,
And
yeah,
speaking of resale, as I try to make this transition work, um, a prominent reseller was on a video on Complex Sneakers, and he had an interesting thing to say. I actually didn't watch it. I don't really care about resale, but the headline says Benjamin Kicks says that resale is back, and I have to say, whatever. I
ah,
guess like he was talking about like how certain sneakers are like things obviously aren't what they were during like the heyday of sneaker reselling of like the past decade and stuff, but things seem to be picking up
yeah,
in his case, because certain sneaker like there have been like a couple of hot releases, whether it's the brick by brick fours, the undefeated fours. Basically it's just been a lot of Air Jordan fours really bring a lot of that resale energy back. And when I saw that, it was just like, all right, how fast can I like click out of this so I can like, put this on the docket so we can talk about it. Jacques, do you really care if resale is back or not? Because I don't.
um, I don't, but I do. I do because it's the business that we traffic in. Like I think it's
Sure.
still important. I think it's important to know. I wasn't aware that resale, quote unquote, was back. And I don't think resale left. I think it just became less profitable.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe that's what people say when they say resale is dead. Is that it's not as profitable as it used to be, or as
Mm-hmm.
easy to make profit in as it used to be. So with that in that regard, maybe Benjamin Kicks has seen some money come in, but there's also been a lot of really great sneaker releases this year to kind of fuel that, as opposed to before where it was just basically everything. This year they've had a lot of hot things that sparked that and that kind of made that, I guess, that have made a little more money for people.
Yeah. And when I hear someone say their sneaker resale is back, I have to like look at it with like, the eyebrows raised because when I walk into a mall, I see like certain sneakers that I figured would be resale staples just sitting there. Like I've
Hmm.
seen people, if you're a fan of the Nike KD4, you are thriving right now because there's all of the KD4s that came out like was it 2011, 2012 that were going for like literally like $1,000 at resale back then. You can get it on sale. Like what was it like the
Yeah.
scoring champ KD4, the nerfs and all that. It's wild to me that it is, and it's great if you're a collector, if you were super into those KDs, and but like resales, like resellers probably would like scoop that up if they knew there was going to be like a market for it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it seems like it's very limited, and I feel like a lot of resellers have also moved on to their next, I'll say, grift. Like whether it's Labubus or trading cards or something, like they've kind of moved on to other things because you see these stores again, like let's go back to the malls, right? You see these stores where they have like these, racks of rows of sneakers and everything. And they also have like, Supreme clothes, which I didn't know was Supreme was still a thing. But at the same time, they have like these display cases of Labubu, graded Pokemon cards. So it's just more like they're diversifying more than they are like, seeing like a return to the glory days
Right.
of, and
Yeah.
by glory days, I mean like for them, not for us,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's just a lot of great stuff that's just in stores. And, when I saw the comments on that particular post, a lot of people were like, what? Really? That's news to me. I would not. That's shocking to me that someone would say that resale's back because I'm enjoying it because there's so much stuff that I can just grab for retail right now.
Yeah.
Like there's rare Air 3s, rare Air 4s, like Jordan 1 Black Toes, which can we talk about? Okay, can we just diverge for a second? The Black Toe ones reimagined are just sitting in stores, and it's wild to me that it's sitting in stores because it's a high quality Air Jordan 1 Black Toe. Those things should be like selling out, but and yet no one seems to care because, well, I mean, Jordan 1s are definitely like on a downswing, but it's still an Air Jordan 1 Black Toe. Like it's still an OG colorway. It just
Yeah.
happens to say Air Jordan instead of the Wings logo. And I never for the life of me actually thought that, man, it really meant that that Wings logo really means a lot to you guys, huh?
I mean, we hear OGs talk about the smallest of things, like people that they talk about the little bittiest thing that's off about a sneaker or it doesn't look the same or something like that. So I'm not surprised that they found something that made it difficult, that that they picked on in order to not sell, so that they don't so that people didn't get hype over it. They also made a lot of them too, which
Hmm.
obviously is great, but it also takes away from the resale, that resale checklist. I feel
Yeah.
like that's one of the things. It's like, oh, how limited are they? Okay, now I mess with them, kind of thing. So I
Yeah.
think that and a bunch of other factors are the reason why those are still sitting on shelves. But the other thing I was going to say is, Benjamin Kicks is in the business of selling kicks. So he's obviously going to say that resale market is back. Whether it's back or not, he's going to say it's back because that's his, that's part of his business, kind of part of the way he makes money, or has made money in the past, I should say. Maybe I don't know what he does now, but maybe that's part of the way he makes his change. So it would make sense for him to be like, yeah, it's great. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Yeah. So yeah,
Like, and then one of my also favorite comments was that post like, in this economy, resale is
right.
back. Like, you got to be like, oh, okay, really? That's an interesting take to say that resale
Man.
is back when you considering how people are kind of cutting back on their spending and
Yo,
everything and
it's
being
it's
very
tough.
selective.
It's tough out here
Yeah,
for people, man.
yeah,
It's
man.
tough
Like,
out here.
yeah, like sneaker purchasing has not been what it was before. And it's not really due to like, well, I mean, the price increase is definitely like a bad thing, but just people are just being more judicious and just being more careful with the stuff that they buy. And as I say that, I did buy a new pair of 990s like this past weekend, like a
Mm.
dork, but still.
I mean,
As
Nike's eating into the profits. The community isn't like, uh what is it, like frothing at the mouth for these releases anymore. So there's a lot of things that are affecting the resale market. And if Benjamin feels like it's coming back, he would know better than I would that it's coming back.
sure.
So I feel like I gotta believe him. Be like, all right, good to know. Good to know. I'll keep my eye open more. I'll pay more attention to
Yeah, like it's for me it's more like, yeah, cool. Good luck with that.
that.
And what's the next thing? But it does make me wonder though, like there have been like a couple of like really big time releases. Like, we talk about like Nigel's brick by brick
Hmm.
fours, undefeated fours. But Nigel, and he also has this Air Jordan 1 low that's dropping, I believe, this week. And Nigel
Hmm.
Sylvester seems to be having quite the moment. More so than he has, like, he's been with Jordan Brand for a minute, but it feels like this is his year. It feels like a
Yeah.
lot of energy for him, like that it hasn't been in the past. And I don't know what it was. Like, he did have like a couple of successful collaborations, but what do you think about why do you feel like this year seems to be like Nigel's year and compared to previous years? Because I can't, like, I like the Jordan 4 brick by bricks, but if I went through like his entire like collection of like collabs, I feel like I can pick out like some that are better. Like the airship ones, the one that had the bike air on them, I feel like I like those better. Well, of course, it was like the airship just didn't like translate to like the huge success that maybe Jordan thought it would. But
Right.
what was it? What do you think? Like, there was the RM, the whole thing. He started off with the
Hmm.
RM and everything. Like last year, I thought those were pretty cool. But between the Jordan 4, the brick by brick, and then there's the Jordan 1 that's coming, which seems to be getting a lot of buzz too. Like, but I can't pinpoint exactly what it is this year that makes it different from previous years with Nigel.
I just feel like it's just been different.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Is
Like
it just a
there's,
vibe thing? Is it a vibe
I think
thing?
it's a vibe and energy of like he's just a different sort of collaborator, I think, in the space.
Hmm.
And I think that's what's appealing for him. He's very like he has a very humble guy. He's like it's almost like the way that like J Tips and which I forgot together that's working with Saucony. Like how those are kind of working and it's not that although I would say no, J Tips is more like a designer. So I don't know. I just think
You mean like Joe
that
Fresh Goods with New
Joe
Balance?
Freshgoods, yeah, like Joe
Yeah,
Freshgoods with New Balance, but even he's like a designer as well. So I feel
sure,
it's just
sure.
Nigel's just bringing a different energy to Jordan Brand that isn't like it's not high fashion, it's not basketball, but it still has a ton of energy, of good energy around it. And then Nigel's just a good guy too. I think people root for Nigel just because he's a good guy. So I
Hmm.
think that, along with all those other things, are what's really helping these things work. And then they're just dope silhouettes. Like the brick by brick was a dope idea, it was a dope concept, and so it made sense. And then Jordan Brand built up to that too. Like they did the RM with him, so there was some energy there. Then the four, and now this one. Like if this one would have came out before the four, I don't know if people would have responded to it in the same way.
Mm. Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It
Sure.
the strategy that they've used to build up to make this one, like if the ultimate goal was like, all right, how can we get Nigel to sell Jordan 1, they had to go through all these other things first in order for Nigel to sell a Jordan 1 and for it to work. Like the airship,
Right.
cool, just didn't work. The RM, cool, didn't work. The 4, okay, all right, now we're building some energy. Like it's great energy. This is the best shoe. This is the best shoe of the year. Blah blah blah. Okay, oh, let's hit on a Jordan 1 low. That's easy to sell. Cool. Now we got that energy behind Nigel. Now he's a force in this space.
Yeah.
At least that's the way it happened in my brain. Now,
Yeah,
whether
sure, of
that's the
course.
way Jordan Brand intentionally did it, I don't know.
And I think, no, I think you're right because, like I said, like the Jordan ones, like they sell themselves to a certain degree, right? Like they don't sell themselves like they did like 2, 3 years ago. But when it comes to like, the right person to come along to collaborate on, it will sell as it's supposed to. And, starting with the force, like you're right, it feel like it was a building up. And I think, and I don't know, like we talked about it on the show and I put it on there because like I thought it was a really neat ad, that ad where he was actually you know, biking, like, going to work in it, putting the work in and actually like, biking in it. And I was like, you don't see people do like, do ads for retros where they're actually doing the thing that they're supposed to do,
Right.
you know? Like we look at retros now as like this thing that we just walk on. Like we don't play hoops in them. We don't.
Walk on.
Yeah, I mean, like like
Yeah.
were there any ads for like the SB Jordan 4s? I don't even remember if there were like video or
No.
print ads or anything like that. So you like other than like like maybe like a skate shop maybe did like a promotional thing but like nothing directly from Nike or Jordan, right? So
Right.
like when you actually see them what they're doing, what they're intended to do, like what their actual purpose is for, is to like be to skate on, to bike on, to play hoops in, it's like, oh wait a minute, I think that's pretty neat. Like they're actually, people are actually like putting the work in, like putting scuffs on them and like I mean, sure, there's a lot of
Yeah.
pre-worn details on those things, but it does get like, it activates this mind of like, hey, maybe I don't just like rock these to like, show off for cloud or anything like that. Oh, what if I
Hmm.
like pick up a bike or like, pick up a skateboard or like go shoot some hoops in it? Maybe not hoops because that would hurt. Playing in ones is not a good idea unless you get some
No.
insoles. Get some insoles. But yeah, like to actually, like serve their intended purpose is actually
Yeah.
like I thought it was just like a neat, like a novel thought. Like, oh, who would have thought you could actually like do these things in these sneakers besides just flexing them, right? Like I just thought that was just a
Yeah.
neat little thing. Like I don't know if that really translates to anybody else, but when I saw that, I was like, huh, Nigel
Well,
Sylvester is actually
yeah.
just biking in
We don't
these.
see, we don't often see sneakers in context, and I think
Yeah,
this is what
there you
they were
go.
able to put them in. They were able to put them in context,
There
and
you
so
go.
it made a little more sense. We usually see them on a picture in a white background or styled up somewhere in
Hmm.
some urban landscape for the images. So I think they did it. Yeah, I think they just did a really good job, man. Kudos, kudos to the marketing team at Jordan Brand and Nigel and his team for really like putting together like a really like four sneaker run that's been really dope.
Yeah, I feel like he's got like a lot of sneaker of the year talk coming his
Yeah,
way in the next couple of months,
yeah,
and here I
for
am
sure.
just like,
Those fours will be high up on the list.
yeah.
There's no question about it.
I mean, everybody's talking about the fours. I kind of like those ones. Like, there's just something about those ones that I just really just spoke to me for some reason. I was like, because I look at ones, I'm like, hey, they're okay, very well. But then I see these and I just look at the details on them, like, oh, just some
Mm,
thought put into it. Just was like
yeah.
really neat to me, and there's the whole ad campaign around it. So that was pretty neat.
Yep.
All right, so moving on to our next thing, Jacques. James Harden seems to have just had like a grand old time in China.
Nice.
Just
As he should. As
as
he
he
should.
just like it seemed like he was like, oh, I'm doing an Adidas thing with I'm going to China. Oh, bet I am just gonna. It's just this is work. Wait, where I get treated like royalty over there? Come on, get out of here! Like this might as well be a paid vacation, which it's pretty much that's what it seemed like,
For
because
him, it's what it is. Yeah.
yeah, like he just went to China and just had a grand old time. Everybody there was just waiting for him, just like every whim, every event
That's
just seemed
awesome.
like the biggest thing in the world. Like he just treated like a freaking king over there. And man, it's just how come we don't have these kinds of things in America, dude? Like I don't. It's just
Well, you know why
what
we
is
don't
it
have them
about?
in America? Because we
Yeah.
don't, as Americans, we don't care about anything outside of America. We don't. We don't. That's the truth. Unless it's the Olympics, we don't care about, honestly, we very rarely care about any sport that's happening outside of the US borders. The
Yeah.
only thing, the only thing that gets any attention is the Premier League. And
Yeah.
that's even a very select group. That's not universal. So, those big athletes come in here, we don't half the time we don't know who they are.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
we don't even know who some of the people that are here are. Like there's very few people in the MLS that are popular enough that they have a following here. Not that they don't have a following, that they're recognizable by the broader public. So I think that's part of it. And America, for better or worse, still is like the country most people want to come to, where people want to live, and our culture spreads around the world like a
yeah.
infectious disease. People love American culture, and they still do, despite the current climate. People are in love with it, and James Harden and everybody else that goes over there. Who I'm trying to think of somebody who else. LeBron goes over there. Kyrie
Anthony
goes over
Edwards is on
there.
his way there.
Anthony Edwards, Dwayne Wade, that's their taste of American culture, especially basketball. Like
Yeah.
American culture and basketball, that's a double whammy.
Yeah, well, people talk about like, what's our greatest export, and people talk about like, particular products and everything. I would disagree. Culture is our greatest
Yeah.
export. Like
Yep.
whether it's movies,
100%.
music, sports. When you said Premier League and we see some of these athletes, like, these great players who come here to America, like Messi, when he came here to Miami, there was a big deal, it was a big fuss. But now but it's very limited to like the soccer loving
Yep.
part of America. It's not like just a whole country is like, rallying around Messi. And it's funny, like when you mentioned that, it reminded me of like this player who just signed with LAFC. I think his name is Son Heung-min. And
Hmm.
funny enough, like he was at Tottenham, and I happened to visit that stadium when I was in Europe, and he was like one of their best players. And they recently won a championship or something, like a cup or something. And now he's moving to LAFC. And it's not greeted with like this huge fanfare. It's like, yes, the soccer loving, public, that part of the, they love it. They think it's cool. But at the same time, it's like, oh, it's just another great athlete from, Europe coming over here. Great, cool.
Yeah,
Not like,
LA,
woo!
especially LA. LA is like, all right, cool, come on through.
Exactly.
Like,
But
come on.
like, well, anyway, Jacques. So that was a great episode of Too Hard to Pass. I think
I
that
think
was
so.
good.
But I haven't been. I wasn't
Considering we
here
took a
last.
break.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wasn't here last week. I'm in New York this week. We're
Yeah.
making it work. We're making it
We're
work.
making it work. Yeah, yeah. Shout out to Mark Inato, aka Air Mag, for filling
Shout
in
out
for
to Air
last week.
Mag for filling in last week. That's my dude.
Yeah, but a couple of things. There's a thing that happened in that episode that I felt like I had to do it, because
Had.
of our friendship with Mark.
Mm,
You know,
mm,
you know, we had to talk about the JV team, the Los
mm-hmm.
Angeles Clippers, and
Got you.
yeah, I gave my props. I gave my props to the other team. Some of them deserved. Some of it was just more like, yeah, when you have company over, you just, even if it's like,
Yeah, you're nice. You're nice to
yeah,
company.
yeah, you're
I
nice to
like it.
company, right? We did the Mount Rushmore of Los Angeles Clippers players, and yeah, part of me felt a little dirty doing that, man.
No, no, there's no reason to feel
I know.
dirty.
No, I
There's
mean,
no reason to feel dirty. Like, they have some good players. They've had a ton of good players. So I'm not dirty about that at all. I feel good about it. But I think, like,
but
but we've got
yeah.
obviously, you
Yeah,
know,
it'd be
you
better,
know,
like, some of them, like when they show up in LA, like they show up to the actual team, it's just,
right, right.
yeah, yeah.
But it's good to highlight that, we don't, it's not that we don't recognize that the Clippers have had amazing players. We just don't think they all play together very well. That's all.
Yeah. And evidenced by the fact that they have, let's see, one, two, zero, zero, zero championships. Not even an
Zero.
NBA Cup. I mean, the Lakers got one, and y'all talk crap about that, but do they got one? No.
Unfortunately, no.
No, 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 no. So today, in an effort to show proper balance and fairness
Hmm.
and all that
Hmm.
good stuff,
Hmm.
today, what we are going to do, in lieu of the Clippers Mount Rushmore,
In lieu. Uh-huh.
in lieu of, today, we're going to do what I think is the greatest Mount Rushmore that we've done so far on this show. It's going to be the 17-time world champion and one-time NBA Cup champion, Los Angeles Lakers, Mount Rushmore
Okay.
Plus.
Okay. Pew, 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 pew. Okay. Do
Boy,
I
that is
start or do
super
you start?
insufferable. All right, so I guess we'll do it how we always do, snake draft. So basically, we're just gonna fill out by position: center, power forward, small forward, shooting guard, point guard, and all that stuff. So you're back from vacay.
Hmm.
You have the honors of going first. So snake draft, you'll go first, then I pick two, and then so on and so on. So
Okay.
fill
Starting at
out
the
a
center
full starting
position.
five.
Center
Uh-huh.
position, I think you got to go with Mr. Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh,
I think you got to go with Mr. Shaquille O'Neal. Most dominant, the most
I was dominant.
most dominant player ever, I would say.
Mm, interesting,
Yeah,
interesting. That
Laker or not.
like our yeah, hey man, 3 championships in LA. Can't knock that. Three-peat, just one of the all-time greats,
Yep.
one of the all-time greats. Oh man, but for my first pick, since I was when I first thought about this, I figured like if you go first, you had to pick him first. But I'm kind of surprised you didn't. So for my first pick for the Lakers, Mount Rushmore Plus, I'm gonna go with Kobe at the shooting guard,
Mm-hmm.
and then
I
I'm gonna
figured.
go with Magic at point guard. So I
Okay.
had to take those two off the board right away because man, I was like, "Woo!" He picked Shaq first. Okay, cool. So I got my
Yeah,
two out of the way.
I thought we were going by position, but
Oh,
okay.
okay. Yeah, well,
No, it's
okay.
cool. No, it's
Yeah, yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Kobe's a great choice.
Yeah, yeah.
So is Magic.
Yeah.
Great choice.
Yeah.
Um, so then that leaves me with a guard. I'm gonna
You
go
still have your
with
two guards and your power forward and
um,
3 and 4. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Gary Payton.
Gary Payton.
And then I feel like you gotta go with like Jerry West.
Jerry West. Okay. Nice, nice.
Yeah,
Gary Payton's unexpected because he was there for a year, but it's a glove, one of the all-time
he's a
greats.
Laker. He's a
Yeah,
Laker.
he
He's a
was a
Laker.
Laker. So if we're going by like if we had prime Gary Payton, ooh, that would have been
Yeah, that'd have been
nuts.
good. That'd have been good.
So GP is gonna be your point guard and Jerry West is gonna be your shooting guard. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. All right, all right. So so I still need my basically my front court.
Hmm.
Um, since you picked Shaq for center, I think I'm gonna go with Kareem. Gotta go with
Okay.
Kareem for my center. And then for power forward, like I want to go with James Worthy. I do. I
Mm,
really do. I really do want to go with James Worthy. But I gotta show love to Pau. Like I think I'm gonna go with Pau
okay.
Gasol for my 4. So
Okay.
just because, I mean, like I was a kid when James Worthy was like, big game Jibs and all that stuff. Have vague memories, but not like the full memories and everything. But pow, I was there, you know?
Yep.
So yeah, though I gotta go with Pau Gasol for my 4. It's more of a like I was there pick more than like
Mhm.
legacy, pick. So I think I'm gonna go with
Got
Pau
you.
Gasol for my power forward for that. All right.
So then if that's the case, then I have to go. I'll go with James, big game James.
All right. For your
I
4.
was going to pick him. So that's what, four people for me.
Yeah,
So
so
the
you have your
fifth would be
small
the
forward.
fifth. My fifth person would have to be, hmm, that's a good question. So James, Shaq, GP, Jerry West. I need another big guy. Bob Ori, Robert
Yeah.
Ory. Yeah, Robert Ory. Feel like he's
Yeah.
got that many wins. He's gonna bring the good energy. Gonna get some
Yeah.
rings there.
Yeah. All right. So Robert Ory for your small forward. That's good. I mean, hey man, if you need the last second shot, probably gonna be like, not gonna undeniable there. So you got that on lock.
Yeah.
All right. So it's the last pick. I still need a small forward. And I think it's funny that neither of us have picked LeBron.
Oh shit. Yeah. That's right. Damn it. Damn it. I don't know
Uh,
why I don't think of.
do you want to
I
take
don't. That's
See,
a
there you
great
go.
short.
And I think it's telling. I think it's telling that both of us
Yeah.
did not pick LeBron. I'm kind of shocked. I'm kind of shocked now that
Yeah.
I put it to. In my mind, I think LeBron has to go somewhere, right? But he didn't, and I still have
I
the
mean,
opportunity to pick.
I just didn't see. I guess I. Wow. That says a lot about the way that I think of him as far as in the
There you go. There
Laker
you go.
lore.
And
Oh,
we're the
that
ones who are
sucks.
like
Oh.
mostly supportive of LeBron as a Laker. Like we're
Yeah,
not
we
like,
are.
yeah,
We
like
are.
this is a
Yeah.
pro LeBron Laker podcast. Like, and this is not we're not one of those like Laker fans who we know a lot of. We're just like LeBron ain't nothing. He ain't shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We're one of those.
We didn't say AD.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot. Yeah. All right. Well, now I'm sad and I want to end this podcast.
No. And Lucas still. I
God
mean,
darn it.
he's only been here for half a
Yeah,
season.
Luca's only been in half a season.
Yeah, yeah. I
I get
mean,
that.
GP's been around longer. GP's been a Laker longer than Luca has been.
Yeah,
So
but there's no reason we shouldn't be saying LeBron.
yeah.
That's a good
No, no.
pickup on you.
I
That's a
think
good pickup on your side.
yeah, but like I think it does says a lot though about like how we look back on our Laker fandom that we think about these
Yeah,
certain players and it's like, oh, like we have more memories of like, the Kobe Shaq Lakers and like,
yeah,
even though LeBron's been here for like a significant amount of time, he hasn't broken through in that way that he has. Like even Robert Ory, you know?
yeah,
Like you picked Robert Ory before LeBron, and I think that says a lot. Not because just you forgot about it. Even I wasn't really thinking about LeBron until like you picked Robert Ory, and I was like, wait a minute.
yeah.
Uh,
That's
Yeah,
terrible.
like
That's
yeah,
terrible.
like
All
it was
right,
in back of
I'm
my mind, but it
sad
wasn't
now.
like all in my. I was like, oh wow. So we are. Yeah, so I still have my last pick, and I could pick LeBron at small forward.
You should. You should.
Eh,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to because in my mind I already had someone else like to pick, and I'm gonna go with Lamar Odom. Like,
Okay. I like
yeah,
Lamar. I like
yeah,
Lamar as a choice.
Lamar. Like, and he's actually like It's funny because I also picked him in my. It was actually I think the first pick that I made for the Clippers Rushmore. It's just because I'm
Oh,
like big Lamar Odom fan. Like, I was like, man, dude, like I
yeah.
thought he was gonna be like a freaking legend, all time great, and all that stuff. And he ended up being like a really good player. Just stuff got in the way. Ugh. But
Yeah.
like I always just loved this game. Like just tall dude, 6'10", just could do everything on the court. Was just the
Yep.
most versatile dude ever. And like, yeah, man, like loved it. Like when he was at the Clippers, I thought he was really cool during that time. But then when he became a Laker, I was like, yeah, dude, we got Lamar.
Yeah.
You're gonna be like just a
Yep.
versatile, do everything kind of player for us. But yeah, yeah, this is an interesting Rushmore. Like it says a lot about us as Laker fans that we're like,
Yeah.
no LeBron, no AD, no
Shameful.
no Caruso.
No Caruso.
Man,
Gotcha.
apology. Yeah, man. Like no. I
Just feel
really
terrible.
thought I really thought you were gonna pick Kobe first. I had it in my mind. I was like, he's gonna pick Kobe first, so I have to pick Eddie Jones second. So I was like, damn, sorry, Eddie. Sorry. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. And once again,
I
you
would
are.
have picked I would have picked Kobe or Magic first, but I thought we were going by position for like that's
Oh,
why I said
okay.
instead of her centers, and so
Yeah.
that's why. But that's it's a good choice
Meh.
though.
Yeah, it was what it was. It ended up like game could have gone either way, but yeah, no, I was like, once again, Eddie Jones got shafted.
Mm.
Dang, once again,
Well,
like
A lot of Laker greats got drafted, so
yeah.
we'll let them be. We'll let them be.
Apologies to like Elgin Baylor,
Hmm.
AC, Byron Scott, like Vlade, Eldon Campbell. What am I telling you? Like
Yeah,
legends. Rick Fox, Derek Fisher, just a whole bunch of names that just didn't get picked, but it's fine.
yeah.
LeBron's there with you guys.
That's terrible,
It was
terrible memory on our part. That's our bad. That's our bad.
That's our bad,
LeBron
but
should
also,
definitely be
we
on
gotta
that
go.
list.
We gotta go with our instinct, man. Like it's what we thought
Nah,
of at the
LeBron should
time.
be on that list. We messed up. We messed up.
I don't know, man. I think it's gonna
Yeah,
make for a very interesting social post, man. Once we put this up there, like it's gonna be like it's gonna see like the picks and everything, and then you're gonna be like, and our last picks were both small forwards, so we both could have picked LeBron, and you
we
forgot,
both
and I
messed
just
up.
did not, and I just decided not to. Just I was just like, nah, we're just screw it. We're not gonna pick LeBron. So sorry
We
about
both
that,
messed up.
man.
We both messed up.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
My bad,
But
Bron. My bad. That's my fault. That's my fault.
apologize for nothing.
Anyway,
You don't
yeah.
apologize, man. That's the
Anyway,
rule. That's what you're doing for. Anyways, that was episode 49 of the Too Hard to Pass podcast. I want to thank Jacques again for gracing us with his presence from, penthouse suite in New York City.
not a
And
penthouse suite. I am in New York City, and I'm supposed to be here. It's my job. It's not blessing any, but not blessing
doing
anybody.
great things with the PGA tour, man. Like, doing like all the good stuff with the kids and everything. But yeah, if you have any questions, concerns, and all that good stuff, send it to the email. It is too hard to pass podcast at gmail.com. Again,
Yep.
that is too hard to pass podcast at gmail.com. That is the number two. Number two.
Number two.
If you like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff, leave the 5-star ratings on the Apple Podcasts, the Spotify's, and all that good stuff. And yeah, we'll be back. And I think, are you going to be in your
Yeah.
studio? You'll be home.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll be back.
First
I'll be
site
back in the
on
studio
time.
on Thursday. Yeah. Yeah. I'll be back in the studio Thursday. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. All right, man. So, yes, thank you for watching, listening, and all that stuff. And we will see you next time. Peace.
Peace.